Oh, hello and welcome back to the Heroes of the Storm Road to BlizzCon North American Open. Sorry, I had the chat window open, so I didn't quite see your lovely face for a minute, Anna, but I fixed it.
Ta-da!
Hooray! Opposite of hooray, these teams forgot to cue us into the draft. So we're just going to show you really fast because we know you're going to be really excited about it, as there is a Murky.
I saw this and I was like, oh no, the draft didn't finish.
They
just
out.
have a weird bugged out one. Nope, it's real.
It is.
There's a Murky.
There is.
So there's a lot of hype, and I can understand why they forgot to send it to us. But I wish that we had seen this from the very beginning, because I would have liked to see the psychology of this draft. We didn't end up seeing that respect ban that I expected on Kerrigan. However, we did see Zeveron ban Uther. So they weren't too worried about having her with Uther, which is one of my favorite combinations. And instead they went for Rhaegar, which is cool. He can heal her back up really well, but having the Divine Shield on her is really cool. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think what happened is, so they were second, and they really wanted Jaina and Tyrande, which is another part of that Kerrigan combination. So I think from there, because second pick means that you only get 2 picks before the second set of bans, I think they were really concerned about not getting, maybe even not getting Kerrigan, right? Like, maybe they thought to be determined would be like, well, we'll just get Uther Kerrigan, then it's fine, or something like that. They already had Kael'thas, Anub'arak, and Sylvanas, so that would have been pretty strong. So maybe the thought was, we'll ban Uther so that they won't have, maybe they'd be a little bit dissuaded, and then they're still feeling very comfortable with that. There's obviously a lot of psychology that goes into this, guys, and we don't know exactly what happened, but that would be something to that effect for my guess. But that's to be determined one Murky, so there's just all good.
I mean, Murky as a pocket pick is cool. What do you think they're going to be looking to use him for? I have seen him used to great effect, especially on Garden of Terror.
Well, we are on Garden of Terror, so that makes sense. Here's what I want. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I want
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I will tell you what I want, what I really, really want. And that is Octograb into Pyroblast.
Ooh, that sounds awful in a good way.
Like if you Octograb and then you throw some Entangling Roots underneath, and then while all of that is going on, Kael'thas comes in, he's like, I came in like a wrecking ball, and then just like chucks the... I have to get, my friend made that up, that was not me. But I still really enjoy that, so that's what I'm hoping for. Let's see it happen.
That is a good idea, Gilly. I am hoping we'll see it as well. You guys know these teams, but we will introduce them to you one more time. Of course, in blue, we do have Team Zeveron. We're going to have Equinox again on Kerrigan, Fury on Johanna, Calthun Luck on Jaina, Mad Timmy playing Rhaegar, and Faye again on Tyrande.
And in the red, they've picked up the Murky. It is to be determined with Sethies on the Anub'arak. Matt Damon himself playing Murky, so apparently he dabbles in hanging out like a fish. Twitch will be playing Kael'thas, Dr. Shokolo again on Sylvanas, and Urameshi this time playing Malfurion.
Guys, please don't crowd Matt Damon for autographs. He's here to play heroes. He's not here to answer to your fangirling or boying. So please respect his privacy. He's just going to Murky for right now.
Yeah, he really likes to play. He's got the master skin. So, I mean, if you want anybody to play Murky, I suppose you'd want it to be somebody who really knows what the heck they're doing on him. And obviously, Matt Damon at least has played a whole bunch of games to get that master skin. He's going to be bubbling around. It looks like he'll be in mid for now. He will be taken out. Now, important thing to know, if you are unfamiliar with Murky, is that a death for him is only a quarter of a real hero's experience, or a full hero's experience, we'll say. So he also gets to respawn from his egg, and so the trick is having the egg far enough forward that you can quickly come back into the match, but not so far forward that it's easy for them to take out, because if they take out you and the egg, that is a full hero's worth of experience.
That is true. Where is the egg right now? I can't seem to find it.
It's actually right above the middle fort.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Well done, Murky. And I did want to comment, as Murky goes down one more time.
I'm going to miss some of those deaths, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It happens a lot when you're Murky. I wanted to mention that I also, although we love, of course, the Arthas Kerrigan, I also really love the Johanna Kerrigan.
Oh, Faye the Owl! Why are you so good at that?
That was going to be my next thing I was going to say, is that Faye's owls are pretty legendary. So watch where you see her throwing those out, because she has like omniscience with how she knows where to find people with it.
Yeah, and finding people is good. Finding eggs makes you very happy as well. So if she can be you're tossing those out every once in a while, trying to figure out where the egg is. If they can find it, they can take out Murky and take out the egg, and that means that he has to go through a full respawn as well, which is never something you want to be doing as Murky. You want to just go in, if you die, get right back into the action. But we do have the first night phase happening, so the seed camps have spawned, and teams are starting to pick those up.
Fury all by her lonesome, as Johanna was able to fend off both Sith and Twitch, but they and Twitch will go down, as well as Sace, as Faye and Equinox join Fury. Again, that Johanna Kerrigan with so much pulling, sustainability, and damage all together can be really devastating.
Yeah, you can actually use Condemn to pull people into the Impaling Blades from Kerrigan. So it's like two different ways to be able to pull people into those blades, which is very frightening. And we've lost a few heroes already because of that. Zeveron are going to start working on this top Garden Terror. As you so often like to mention, there are 90 seeds in top and 90 seeds in the bottom camps that spawn. So you have to venture onto both sides of the battleground in order to secure a Garden Terror in the first round. And it looks like Zeveron was able to do that, as they'll be picking up a Garden Terror.
They also are working now on their level 6, moving toward level 7. We do have level 4 moving into level 5 from to be determined. So again, we see the experience lead early on favoring Zeveron.
We also have Matt Damon picking up bribes, so there are a whole bunch of mercenary camps on this battleground, so it's not a bad choice on this one, as he's going to be able to just quickly pick up a mercenary camp. That's going to make sure there's always a little bit of pressure in lanes versus Zeveron, and that means that if to be determined to get a little bit behind in experience, they can use that time to try to catch back up or start pushing somewhere else, as they also have a Sylvanas.
We also see Scouting Drone coming out from Malfurion, so a focus for to be determined on knowing and using this battleground specific objectives and keeping map pressure, I would say.
Zeveron doing a really good job of picking up their mercenary camps before grabbing this this Garden Terror. Cawthon Luck was waiting until they picked those up. That is really a good synergy there, because if you pick it up, all of the mercenary camps go away, as you can see. There's no more that are able to be picked up. So it takes a little bit of coordination, a little bit of talking, making sure that you know exactly when you're supposed to be picking it up.
The multi-stun, multi-pull just takes Tyrande down, takes, who the heck was that? Anubarak down very, very quickly. Looks like Malfurion will follow close behind, as now Zeveron is pushing against this bottom wall.
But up on top, To Be Determined is pushing versus the wall as well. So they are at least using Murky to his max potential here and getting that. Unfortunately, his egg has been spotted by Cawthon Luck in that Garden Terror. We've got sort of a split push going on for Zeveron. They're pushing in this mid. They're going to be able to take out the Sport thanks to the Siege Giants, who are helping that Garden Terror very nicely. And on bottom, the rest of the members of Zeveron are going to be able to do the same. 2 forts with the Garden Terror from the first night phase. That is an impressive use. That is a money terror right there.
Cawthon Luck hoping to grab Murky before he was able to respawn his egg, but that egg will go down alongside that top fort there. And he will be safe if he does die now to Cawthon Luck, the Garden Terror pushing against that top wall.
With all the structures that they've taken down already, we see Zeveron hitting level 10, 3 levels ahead of their opponents. They are going to pick up Maelstrom, as well as Blessed Shield, Water Elemental, Ancestral Healing, and Starfall. Looks like Cawthon Luck getting chased down a little bit here is going to be able to take out Anubarak thanks to a great shot from her and this Water Elemental, which, by the way, can be retargeted now once Jaina dies, which is a new addition to the game.
Yeah, no huge surprises in terms of heroic abilities chosen by Zeveron. We have Maelstrom, Blessed Shield, Water Elemental, Ancestral Healing, and Starfall. I was surprised by how long Jaina was able to stay alive in that 3v1 situation. It definitely came down to that Water Elemental, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and even picking up a takedown with it, sometimes the best thing you can possibly do if you know there's no way to get out is just try to take somebody down with you. Now Equinox is coming in and is maelstroming on top of a bunch of stunned people thanks to that Blessed Shield, and will be able to take out Malfurion. A new Barak will closely follow. Murky's going to bubble right through there, but no, a Ravage says, no way, man. Going to be taken out. I'm surprised they don't want to go after that egg there, and they decide not to. Going to play a little bit safer here. Instead, going to go steal some of these Merc camps from their opponent's side of the battleground.
That was so cool, Gilly, because Kerrigan popped Maelstrom, and then the Condemn from Johanna went out right on top of her, pulling everyone around Kerrigan further into the Maelstrom, and that damage was just devastating.
And the Blessed Shield on top of that was like, stay a while and die.
Yeah.
All right, well, we almost have to be determined. They really just want to get their heroic abilities, but they're still a level away, which is so infuriating. And we do already see Rhaegar picking up the cleanse. This is a pre-pickup because we know, we're almost certain what is going to be coming out from Murky. It will be that Octograb. It's going to grab and keep someone stationary while he hits them with the fish. It itself doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but when you've got a whole bunch of people dealing damage on top of it, it's a great way to be able to just pick somebody off really fast, especially with the Kael'thas right behind.
Yeah, Kael'thas, once we get into the late game, as we always mention, will scale very, very well too. So he's going to be able to do lots and lots and lots of damage on top of that Octograb if it's gotten. That burrow charge saves Sace though as he burrows behind the Phoenix, which does manage to zone Zeveron out of the way. They're going to be joined by 4 Siege Giants though. Luckily, Sylvanas is there to kind of chill them out for a second, be like, hey dude, stop throwing your rocks at our buildings, just chill out. We don't really need that right now.
I mean, it's tough because To Be Determined do want to scale to that late game, like you mentioned with that Kael'thas, but it's getting pretty difficult as they've already lost 2 of their forts and some damage has already been done, I believe. No, so they've still got all of their towers at least healthy, but they've lost all of their forts, actually, except for the top one, which is where poor Murky has to keep his egg then. So that's a little bit difficult. If they continue losing so many structures, they're going to never be able to really catch back up in experience because they'll be so far behind on the map. Really just being able to use that Murky to try to take down structures like we've seen on top.
We see the Sentinel going out to give information to Zeveron about who is down here to defend in the bottom lane. Twitch, Sace, and Urameshi are down here. In the meantime, Fury and Matt Damon are battling it out. Matt Damon, bubbling his way across the map, does finally get taken down.
It took quite a while, but now it looks like these bruisers have almost been taken out. To Be Determined are going to be able to push off Zeveron, but not before they've done some serious damage to this gate and towers. We're seeing Murky still deciding to keep his egg next to the fort. We may see him start to be a little bit creative once that fort's taken out, but it looks like he's going to go in with some of these bribes and be able to steal these giants. So he's at least getting a little bit of pressure off of them as the bottom giants are going to start moving in toward that bottom lane. Kael'thas is going to have to stay here to try to pick him up.
Seeds do spawn. We see Fury in position to grab seeds on the side of the map that's not considered safe for Zeveron, but because of the push that they have, they've got To Be Determined kind of sitting back on their haunches, if you will. Both teams gathering seeds, but we will see a growing Garden Terror already for Zeveron.
Man, this is so tough for To Be Determined. They really need to get a Garden Terror. If they lose all of these, they're going to run into a second Garden Terror as well for Zeveron, as they're already taking down this bottom Shambler very, very quickly. We never really went into the heroic abilities that To Be Determined did pick up. They've got Tranquility as well as Wailing Arrow, Web Blast, the Octo Grab, and Phoenix from Kael'thas. So no Pyroblast today.
Aww, I'm so sad. Phoenix definitely a good choice when you need help defending because it can really zone people out of, say, an area where there's a wall that's about to go down or something like that. But Pyroblast with that combo you mentioned would have been really cool to watch, Gilly.
Looks like Murky finally got that top fort down, so that's at least nice. He does drop to a single swipe from a plant hand in the Garden Terror, and this is a really smart move we often see these teams do when they're so far ahead. Zeveron is going to move up and start working on this second Garden Terror, and they're going to use their first one to just kind of zone a little bit and keep anybody from being able to contest this. This is really nice because they're going to get a second one, so it doesn't really matter if they waste a little bit of time on the first one because getting the second one is so detrimental. It really means that To Be Determined will be on the defensive this entire day phase until the next seed phase.
It's a very strategic thinking, knowing that you're not only getting your own Garden Terror, but you're also denying a Garden Terror to your opponents, and that's what's been done here. So we do see 128 seeds for Zeveron as they now take down Matt Damon as well as Kael'thas. We have a silence going down as well. We have a Web Blast just going off of Calthon Luck, but they didn't really need Calthon Luck, as it looks like only Urameshi, Dr. Shokolo, and Matt Damon, now who has respawned, are surviving.
Man, a very amazing Ancestral Heal from Mad Timmy just barely keeps Faye alive from the brink of getting taken down. Now Murky will be down. His egg has been moved though, so he'll be right back into the action. However, it's still a few more seconds before we see Kael'thas and a Nubarak arise. We did see the Octo grab into some damage. It just wasn't quite enough to be able to take somebody out. Those heals from Mad Timmy really saved the day there.
The blizzards from Jaina, especially on top of the impaling blades from Kerrigan, have been really devastating. They've done a lot more damage than we usually assume from those earlier abilities. And I have to give mad props to the team for their communication that's so obvious from the way that they're coordinating their abilities.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and step back a little bit. They know they have another Garden Terror pushing, so if they can get some mercenary camps. They actually stopped their opponents from grabbing these earlier. They were right about to grab them, and then they hurried and picked up the Garden Terror. So really a great strategic move, knowing they were all on the back part of the map. They went ahead and just picked it up super fast. They didn't allow their opponents to pick these up, and now they've grabbed them themselves before going and getting the Garden Terror, which Calthon Luck still has plenty of time to get. So we're seeing the rest of Zeveron continue to rotate around, pick up some more camps, and then once they do, they will grab that Terror, and that's going to be a ton of push against to be determined.
We now see that the Siege Giants as well as the Bruisers down here are going to be grabbed. We got to see that cool Condemn into Impaling Blades combo again, even used against Mercenaries here and having been used against minions as well as in team fights. Multi-purpose abilities there. Got to tell you, Gilly, this one seed that's up there in the top of the map, as always does, is just killing me.
It is killing me as well. It is sitting there floating in happiness, blinking, trying to make somebody come and get it. But I don't think it'll make too much of a difference, at least. But I've been constantly like looking at the minimap saying, why hasn't anybody picked that thing up? Come on, go get it.
Siege Giants are helping the push here in the mid lane for Zeveron. We see 4 members of that team all there hanging out. This wall will likely go down, but a great Phoenix does zone, and Saiths is out there in front using his ability to burrow charge in and out to make sure that the attack is held off as long as possible.
Yeah, the Web Blast went on the healer, which seems really early, so I guess he was just trying to delay the inevitable, the attack as soon as possible. However, he does get caught out by a Primal Grasp into the Lunar Flare once again, and will be taken out. Matt Damon moving in now. Maybe we're going to see... We did see the Octograb go down, but an amazing cleanse. That's the power of that cleanse versus Octograb. They're instantly out of the Octograb, and no worse for the wearer.
We saw the Tranquility actually get popped by Urameshi, and it healed nobody. I wonder if it was a misclick or an assumption of what was about to happen in the battle that did not happen. We now see Matt Damon getting very low, will again go down, and that is the way of Murky. Twitch now trying to run back before he gets too damaged. They know they need the damage that comes from Twitch. They can't afford to lose him right now.
Yeah, what they really need is to have Twitch be at 16 when he starts doing a ton more poke damage, but it may be too late here as they've already lost 2 keeps. It looks like Saith's going to come in trying to maybe deal some damage, but unfortunately gets pulled with a Primal Grasp right into a Maelstrom. Nowhere you want to be. So close to taking down Equinox, though. They're going to try to do so, but won't be able to. A burrow charge right through all of the members of Zeveron was the end of a Nubarak. And now with 3 members down, as Zeveron are moving in toward the core, they're taking down the shields. It looks like they might be able to win the series.
Equinox got very, very low, but had Maelstrom up and in her retreat managed to damage on her way out as well. Kael'thas will go down. That means there's not a lot of damage to answer to this onslaught from Zeveron. Only poor Murky is trying to do something to keep them from killing his core, but at now 0%, that means that Zeveron has taken the series.
He has indeed. Well, they all have, but I think the great stuns by Tyrande makes Tyrande MVP in my mind. So great job there, Faye, especially the owl kills.
Oh my gosh. Those are the worst. When the Sentinel comes out of nowhere and just, and
I know,
you're
dead. Like, yes, I made it. No! We also saw some really amazing ancestral heals, though. Really, all of every Zeveron did was on point. So really well played. A great job by our contenders from the last match at To Be Determined, playing up against Zeveron, who has been obviously putting in a lot of practice. We saw them win the Challenger Series just this week as well. So they're well on their way to making it into the round of 8.
I think that in Heroes, and we all have experienced this, communication is paramount in terms of being a good team. And you can see by the way that abilities were rarely, if ever, wasted by Zeveron. They were usually used in conjunction to make each other stronger. You can see that this is a pro team that spends time practicing and strategizing together and knows how to give each other the verbal cues that we can't hear that allow them to synergize that way. So just a treat to watch.
Oh yeah, very amazing job by Zeveron, guys. They will be moving on. Let me look at the bracket really fast and see if we know who they will be facing facing next. By the way, I just wanted to point out there's a team called Moist Brotato.
Yeah, that was a good, in the caster chat this morning, the response from whoever was casting that, I think it was Solid Jake, was like, Moist Brotato. Excellent.
So good. It looks like their opponents are still playing. It'll either be Just Do It.
Do it!
Or OMG, we are hearthing. Does that remind you of the last game from Heroes of the Dorm? Because it reminds me of that. The hearthing out.
Yes.
I was like, no, don't. That's what that reminds me of. All right, well, it looks like Zeveron will be facing the winner of that. We're not really sure what we're doing next. We've been rotating around quite a bit. We've had injuries and DQs and things like that. But we will make sure to update the overlay just as soon as we know, or come back if it's going to be a little bit of a break. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been so much fun. Good luck, Zeveron, if we're not continuing to cast you. And we'll see you guys in a little bit.